them being an okay environment or a safe environment to raise that child, being able to send them to a safe school, being able to communicate with them, because I have conversations with, whether it be women at work or my mom or friends or whatever, if, they having the conversations with their friends, and generationally, like it's not the same since I've been in school, whether it be elementary school, high school, middle school, whatever it is. And that's being a grandmother, then you're looking at it from a young mother's point of view, being a mother, like let's say somebody in their 20s, whether it be like 18 to 29 or 18 to 30, then their parents being like my age, you know what I mean? And some have had relationships with their parents where they were able to have dialogue, they were able to have conversations, they were able to be told, okay, or shown, this is how you're supposed to raise a family, this is what a family structure looks like, this is how you provide for a family, this is how you be a responsible
Nobody has that conversation.
And
nobody has had those conversations at all.
The generations that are coming up who are sexually active now, which being the younger teenagers, what their role models are. You know what I mean? What they look up to is insane.
Right.
Because the parents are at work, or they don't have any interest in spending time with the children or developing in a relationship with the children, because they're young, they want to live their best life. You know what I mean? And then I hear that because when with me being a young grandmother and me knowing young women that have children, they get upset when people don't want to watch their children. We told you not to have this baby. We told you to think about, like, even prior to this baby being a thing, you know what I mean? Even to you being a mother became an issue, or you knowing how to be a responsible person became an issue. We've, as adults and parents, try to teach our children the right decisions to make, or show them the right lifestyle around them. We want to live a lifestyle that's conducive to their well-being once they become adults and have to make decisions on their own. But there is no structure,
and that conversation should be made at what age am I saying? Because this is not going on in households or anything like that. That parents don't even know what their kids are doing.
They don't know what. Right.
They don't know what they're doing at all. So then you're not having this conversation. Then you got your child outside. You got your child outside having sex that y'all didn't have a conversation about protection. Mm-hmm. So that's when a baby comes about. Now a baby comes about, and then you got all these responsibilities. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. The conversation has to be made so that these kids understand that having a baby is nothing is cute about that. And it's so much of a responsibility, and you should be able to see it's hard to get $5. It's hard for a person to get $5. This is on a regular day. I just woke up. It's hard to get $5. So now you putting a child into, you would have to take care of that child, which is way more than $5. Who's going to be looking to eat just like you, and looking for something to drink just like you. Like, I blame these parents for having their kids out there and just not having conversations with their children at an early age. Like, I feel that conversation should be had at 12 years old.
Aside even from a conversation, parents just need to spend time with their child. Period. You have parents who don't even know what's going on in their child's life. You have parents who don't even know their child's favorite song. You have parents who don't know the music that their children listen to. They don't want to connect because maybe, and I'll just speak about myself, because at this point in time when I was going through things with my son, I had just been saved. Like, I was a newly saved Christian at that time. So I was so deep into the Lord that, like, I could not connect, and I didn't know how to connect with him. I saw him going through this transition in his life, however, me being a woman, firstly, me being a single mother, not knowing how to help him navigate through whatever it was that he was going with, whether it be emotionally, whether it be spiritually, I couldn't relate, because at this time was when my brother was murdered. So I knew, aside from him having to deal with, typical teenage stuff like that, on top of that, and at this time his dad had come into his life briefly, when I was dead set against it initially because of, I'm going to say my selfish reasons, because I wanted to be protective of my child.
Right.
And because of the vulnerability of the lifestyle that was just actually taking place, and everything that he had to deal with, and then with him having to deal with his dad in all of that, and never really be, that's why I said consistency, him not ever being consistent in his life. I didn't want it to be a situation where he was in his life and just like it actually happened, him back out of his life, you know what I mean? And then having to deal with that aspect all over again amongst everything that he's going through in his teenage life, you know what I mean? And me not being able to talk to him because I didn't know what questions to ask him from. I didn't know how to connect with him. I didn't know how to connect with his heart at that time. And I know his heart was really, really hurting. You know what I mean? I know he wanted something. I know he was reaching out for something, but I didn't know what that was. I didn't know how to ask him how, just to be able to be vulnerable with me, his mom, because he's a young teenage male, never really been expressive with his emotions, because I don't know how to teach him to be an emotional man, you know what I mean? Or a strong man, because I'm not a strong man. I'm a strong woman. But just having to deal with him emotionally at that time, I didn't really know how to. But now being an adult and going through that phase of his life with him, and still at the end of the day being his mother and wanting the best for him, I'm never going to give up on my child, ever. I'm still going to be concerned. I'm still going to give you good advice, which is all I can do, because at the end of the day, when you become an adult, you have to make your own adult decisions for yourself, you know what I mean? Which is oftentimes we give our children advice, or we lead lives that we would want them to be highly functional adults. However, they ultimately make decisions for themselves, you know what I mean? Whether that be dependent upon the people that they hang around with, the lifestyle that they've grown up in, the people who influence them, especially them being teenagers. They're very influential, especially if they don't have that father figure in their life. They're just going to reach out for family, that connection, something that they can connect to. So kids need to be talked to. When we just have to pay attention to our kids, we have to be able to, and I feel like we need to spend so much time with our children. Like oftentimes you can be in a room with them and nothing has to be said, and you can tell by the mannerisms, and you can look at your child and tell that something is going on with them. Right. That's the type of connection we should be having with our children. But sadly, we are so distracted by everything else that we have going on, or we just have young, selfish parents.
Right.
Who don't care
that just don't have time. Yeah. But if they can't only find out about it, it's also in their reaction and what they do to it. And the reason why I say that is because Amir snuck out of the house at 3:30 in the morning. I took his phone prior and went through his phone and just seeing the way that he was talking, just the words that he was using, like cursing in it and saying niggas in it, just the way that he was speaking. And that's not how he is at home. So that now lets me know that when he goes outside, he's a totally different person. Now I take the phone away. It's school. It's the end of school. I give him the phone back, I think, for the end of school or whatever. And then I take his phone again probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks after school is totally out, and I look in his phone, I find out he snuck out at 3:00 in the morning. That causes for a reaction. That causes for a serious reaction, because I can't let this go as a parent, and I have to take it and be as dramatic as I can be so that I do not lose my child. So Amir went on punishment. The game got taken away from him, which is his way of communicating to his friends, and also his cell phone was taken away completely. That's it. That there is no friends. I also took him out of school. He's going to Georgia Cyber Academy, so now he will be home. Amir can only leave the house to go to work and back home. That's it, because we have that communication. Him and I have that communication where we talk. I know if there's something going on. I know when something's going on. I just know because I can look at him by saying, I'm like, talk to me what happened, or I'll just randomly say what happened. So that really got me upset to the highest power when he did that, taking that chance of going sneaking out of the house, going through a window and actually walking miles in the dark at that time of the morning in Georgia is just freaking crazy. So I just say this to say parents from, I would say, 10 to about 17, because they're grown at 18, right?
They, as long as they in your house, they got to go by your rules.
Right. So 10 to whatever age it is, take those cell phones, go through those cell phones so that you know your child, because they are a representative in the house and they are somebody totally different outside. And the outside influences, the friends, all of that needs to be monitored. In my way, I just cut it off totally. Going through that phone, I was able to see other children and just the way as a group, like a lot of them just acting in the same way and fighting and cursing, and little girls showing their bodies, like, and just hugging and letting boys touch on them like that is just so crazy. So parents, I just ask that you go through your children's phones and stop being scared, stop being punks, because the end result will be something different. Either your child will be dead, in jail, pregnant with a STD that they can't get rid of. It's so many precautions that you have to take with your child to protect your child, the child that you had, that you decided to give birth to. That's why I say it's more than just being a parent, just carrying a baby. It's more to that than being a parent. And these young girls, they don't just look at that. They just look at it like, oh, it's a fun time. I'm having sex and I'm going to keep this baby because he loves me or he is going to be with me or whatever it may be. It's way more than that in order to be a parent. And I have even gone up to the cell phone, that same thing that parents are doing now by going in their kids' phones on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, going on live and just saying that I already have done that with Amir. I have told kids, call kids on the phone and let them know to not contact my child again because my child is not your friend and you are not my child's friend. And I'm taking the phone away and all of that is shut down. All of the comments about your mother on his phone that I seen, all the levels of disrespect, I went right onto the Snapchat and told those same kids that I was at the school. So do all of the stuff that you was going to say at the school and come to the vice principal's office because we're waiting for you to come. Okay? We're waiting for Mr. Snapchat tough guy and you, Mr. Snapchat. Oh no, I never said that. Amir's my friend. I was just playing this at the no, and I told the other person it's always blamed on somebody else. So your child also needs to know that and needs to know that it's no such thing as friends. No such thing as friends. Because when you're sitting in that jail cell, your friend is not there with you. And they definitely not writing you or sending you no money. Okay? So it's no such thing as friends. We just going to leave that. We're going to take that word out of the vocabulary. Because that doesn't exist. It doesn't. And all these kids just sneaking out the house, that's just crazy to me. And to do that in Georgia is even crazier. because of the animals, because of the people,
because of just the culture the climate that we live in right now with white officers just randomly shooting black folk and killing black folk. You know what I mean? And we live in Georgia. You know what I mean?
right?
Like this ain't no game.
This ain't no
This ain't
game.
no game.
That don't make no sense whatsoever. But that's how I feel about those kids with those parents. That's at a teenage age.
Definitely have to be more attentive to the activities that their children partake in, especially the social media, because that's the culture.
Kids are killing themselves.
Yep.
Kids are getting beat to death.
They are looking for acceptance in social media.
Yes.
You want to know what's going on with your kids' life? Have all of their passwords.
Right.
Take their phones randomly.
Random
phone check. Run that phone.
Run it.
Random.
Right.
So you do random drug screenings, random phone check.
That's the time that we live in now.
Right.
Parents, get out the club and stop being friends. We need y'all to be parents, not friends. Because that being friends is going to get your child nowhere. Fast, and you looking crazy. That's what's going to happen with that. And that is the conclusion of the Avia and Tamika show with Avia and Tamika. That is our take on parenting. Or not our take on parenting. That's more so check your child. That's what the topic of this show is called. Check your child.
Make sure you are aware of where they are.
Where they are.
Who they claim their friends are. Make sure you know what activities they partake in. And if you don't know them, they not friends. Just like somebody said, that's not your friend. It's not your friend.
It's not your friend. 10 to about 18 to them being in your house.
Even like 8.
8, okay.
Even like just having conversations with them so that they understand.
I would say that too.
But they do know, but because it's
any child that has a cell phone or a tablet.
Advanced. Like they are so smart. They're witty. You know, they catch on really, really fast. So I would say even 8 is too late. Probably like 6 years old.
I would probably say 6 years old. The only reason I'm going to say 6 years old is because a little girl's mother called me and said that they were in the cafeteria. This is 6 years old. This is elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And they was in a cafeteria, and the little girl said, "Bitch, I'ma beat your ass, little bitch, and that's my man. I be sucking his dick." Elementary. Cafeteria. Right. They was talking about pornos at the cafeteria. They was talking about what they see in the house. They was talking about what they mama do. They was talking about what they mama do. They was talking about mothers. So just know that also everything that you do is being observed by your child, mothers. Yeah.
That's a sad part. Like they just don't care.
Elementary school though, Avia.
They just don't care. No, I say that to say it's the responsibility of the parent to protect that child from those things at such a young age. And when I say they just don't care, the parents don't care to protect, what the child sees. They do everything around them. They allow any and every type of conversation to be had around them.
Around their child.
You have to protect children. This is why there's no respect for anybody at any level.
Yep.
On any level. Parents.
They don't. The kids, they don't.
I mean, children don't respect their parents. Younger siblings don't respect their older siblings. Co-workers don't expect each other. Like friends don't respect each other. Spouses don't respect each other. Like there's such a total breakdown of respect on every level. On every level.
On every level.
From the president. Nobody has respect for anybody.
And that's where the problem. That's where the breakdown is.
Anybody.
Because you think would this person do this? No, they wouldn't if they had respect.
People don't even have respect for themselves. And
right.
That's where it begins. People don't have any respect. I was gonna say a sense of respect. People don't have respect for themselves, so they allow any and everything to happen. They allow any and every. They don't protect their space. They don't protect their minds. They don't protect their peace. They don't protect their household. They don't protect their children. They don't protect themselves. You know, so
right.
You oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Protect and respect. Because if you respected yourself or even your children, you would protect them. You know what I mean? You wouldn't allow any and everything to go on around them. What is going on, bro? I feel like I'm in a labyrinth or something.
2 seconds. Jeez. You knocked my plug out, so whatever like that.
Gonna be
it's back in.